Titans issue 9. Tom Taylor writing with Lucas Meyer on the art. So obviously we've got this Trigon and Raven story brewing. Because well, it's a Titans book, so of course we do. So although I will say this issue, surprisingly in some ways, I think made me laugh the most this week, because as well it's teasing some big stuff and there's some dark stuff. There's a lot of little things in this one that really got a chuckle out of me. In various ways. Obviously, it's still wrapping up the Titans dealing with this disaster in Florida. They're kind of just finishing with that. The Quintessence are talking about bad stuff spring. Sorry?
Yeah, that's really big for Taylor to jump off with, right? Is we don't see the Quintessence that often.
Yeah.
So
basically, they're sensing that was Raven's bad self called that she's going to turn into?
She's going to become the Dark Winged Queen.
Dark Winged Queen. I was going to say Dark Angel or something. But yeah.
Well, no, it does sound like a Kenny Omega move. The Dark Winged Queen, One Winged Angel.
It does, yeah. So it's showing that the Titans just kind of turning the tide a little bit, and that everyone who is there in Florida is kind of rooting for them and saying, no, they're heroes. They've been helping us. Notably, Beast Boy's not there, and they're like, "Where's Beast Boy?" And Wally's like, well, actually, I think Cyborg says, Raven says Flash told him to leave, and Cyborg's like, what the hell? And he's like, no, I told him to leave a specific situation. I didn't say go home.
Yeah.
Right? The big difference. Yeah. So, yeah, we see some stuff in Hell with Trigon. In fact, one of the things that made me laugh, he's talking to...
Trilogy.
Is that his name?
That's Trilogy. That is
No. Trilogy comes second. No. Actually, wait, he's talking to Trilogy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right, but then the other guy comes in, right? Serverless. Yeah. And basically Trilogy's like, hey, can we really trust Raven? And she's still working with those Titans. And Trigon's like, what are you talking about? She's manipulating her friends. She's going to have them be her generals. And while I usually would encourage my children to fight each other for my preference, he's basically Fritz von Erich, is what I was getting from this. He likes to rank his children. He's like, Raven's too powerful for you, so don't even try. And he sort of kicks him away. And as he's walking out, Serverless is coming in to talk to Trigon. And he says to Trilogy, do you know why your father sent for me, Trilogy? And it's just censored, but it's basically just F you, Serverless, in a really sort of petty way. I don't know why, but that really made me laugh. Was Trilogy walking out of this meeting just being like, F you, dude. Like, don't talk to me.
Well, what got me is the page before is when Trigon's standing so huge over Trilogy. And, he goes, you're new amongst my children, and you are far from my favorite. It was the Von Erich thing, right?
Yeah.
Yelling at the younger kid,
If anyone needs to understand what we're talking about here, just watch the Iron Claw. That'll explain the reference.
Carrie's number one.
Yeah. But the rank is always changing, Matt.
Yes, it is.
Oh dear. But the second thing that really made me laugh, because basically what the thing with Trigon was talking to Serverless about was that he needs to talk to some humans. So he needs to arrange a meeting, and that's what he wants his help with. Cut to Peacemaker talking to just a random guy that works for the Bureau of Sovereignty, right? And they're walking towards the office, and he's like, make no mistake, we are on the side of good. And then he opens the door, and Amanda Waller's got a meeting with Trigon, and the art on Peacemaker's face where he just looks shocked, and then just kind of like, let's close the door.
Yeah. Oh my God, just
so funny. This page made me laugh so much.
Giant red demon standing across from Waller, and just like, it looks like they're getting, like, yes, what do you want? Like, yeah, just the reaction there on from Meyer with Peacemaker is so good.
Yeah, Waller's like, we're going to have to memory wipe the new recruit, and I'm going to have to explain some shit to Peacemaker. Even Peacemaker's going to need to be convinced that this isn't sketchy, which is sketchy, by the way. I mean, Waller's making a deal with the devil. That's what this is. Let's not frame this any other way. Trigon is like, hey, I need these, just in case those pesky Titans can actually, like, convert my daughter back to being good and can like stop what's happening. I need to make sure the Titans are dealt with. And Waller's like, well, what are you going to do for me then? And he's like, I'll let your Earth live. And she's like, that's all stick. I want carrot. And she really has to like say that a couple of times before he's like, all right, how about what do you humans like? The presidency. You can be president of the country. And Waller's like, okay, that's not a bad offer, but I actually don't want just to look powerful. I want to be actually powerful. And we don't get to see what it just says, let's keep talking, and then we go to another scene. So it's like, what did she ask for?
Yeah, what's bigger than that? I also like the split between them, like on that page. We have Trigon on the left side of the page, split down his face, and then Waller on the other. Just all of that just showed like they're kind of on the same level here. And then when he says a carrot, and then he goes, Meyer has that look where Trigon has his hand on his chin, and he's up looking as he's trying to figure out. Like, the expressions on this are like perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we've not really mentioned the art yet much, but Meyer, we loved his issues of Beast World, and I was delighted to see him here on this.
Yep.
Because I think he is very good with the expressions. It's nice and sort of inky as well, with a lot of the shadows and stuff in some of the pages. Really, really good for the hell stuff and like stuff with Trigon and Waller to really sell kind of the insidious side of what's going on. But no, really good. Titans come back to Titans Tower, and Beast Boy is watching the cooking channel because he thinks he should learn to cook because he's not useful as a superhero anymore. Which is really sad. And they're all like, hey, Raven, go talk to him. Like, you can help. And she's like, of course I'll go talk to him. But she looks really evil as she says it because she's obviously bad Raven. So she comes in, makes Beast Boy transform back into, human form. And yeah, basically, goes. She basically starts acting more a character in front of him, where, what was the line she says here?
What part are you at Beast Boy, or was she talking to herself?
No, she's talking to Beast Boy, and she's basically. Yeah, okay. I was trying to just remember what she did here. Yeah, this reminds me actually of something that was in Gen V recently, the Boys spin-off show. Basically, she's like, hey, all that pain you're feeling from everything that's happened, all this stuff, I can remove that. Like, I can take it away, which obviously is not healthy. Like, people should work through their emotions and feelings. And
you can't just shove them down like they don't exist. Take it from someone that tried.
And she's like, hey, all this stuff that's happened, there's gaps because of how you came back. Like, I can remove it. And she does, right? And he passes out. And then she speaks to herself and says, stop screaming in there, Rachel, I can hear you. Clearly actual Rachel inside the gem is like horrified at what she's just done to Beast Boy. She's taken a part of him so he can't feel his pain, which he has to feel to get over it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. And then she's like, yeah, and I'm going to have to, like, I've got plans for all the other members, but Donna Troy might be difficult, so I may have to destroy her. So that's kind of the tease that leads it on. So I thought that scene was really good and powerful. I thought that was a really good showing of like how malicious and like how she's starting to manipulate them with her powers.
Yeah, and the way that she doesn't even give Gar a point, like a moment to react. She just does it.
Yeah.
So what's that going to unlock in him?
It's almost really insidious because she presents it like it's a nice thing she's offering, but then just does it anyway. Almost like she can argue later, if she even has to, but she could maybe even argue later, you wanted this. This is what you wanted. Your weakness is what led to me doing this. And then this book made me laugh again in the next page because, the quintessence earlier on, Hera said, hey, we can't just go and tell the human stuff because it'll be seen as like an act of war with hell or whatever. We have to do it slyly. I've got a way of doing that. And this is what happens here. Hermes shows up to Donna, right? And it specifically mentions that he's moving so fast that humans can't see him. And then Wally walks in eating like a burger and just goes, oh, hey, it's Hermes. And that really made me laugh because the idea is that of course he can see him because he can see everything that moves really quick.
It's Speed Force. So
I thought it was really funny.
I'm moving so fast for mortal eyes to comprehend. He goes, I understand no one's going to know. Hey, it's Hermes. I was getting Guardians vibes when Drax thinks that he's, moving so slow.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's a little bit of that.
And then Mantis is like, oh, hi, Drax. Yeah. Again, Tom Taylor does have a he's so great with tension like that, right? So we built to this big dramatic moment with Rachel and Raven and the Dark Winged Queen, and then to ease that tension, we have this, with Hermes and Flash.
Yeah, without deflating what that tension was, because this doesn't take anything away from that. See, it's just we're on a different thing, different characters. But yeah, so Hermes is trying to tell her something's wrong as a warning, but just before he can actually tell her what's going on or what's coming, Raven shows up and banishes Hermes away, and Donna's like, "What are you doing? That's Hermes." And she's like, No, that wasn't Hermes. That was an imposter pretending. It was a trickster sent by my father. Trigon's up to something, and Donna's like, "Okay, I guess we'll have to go to hell then, or prepare for hell." And Raven is just looking really evil. So yeah, they almost got a warning, but Raven intercepted it. So yeah, I don't know. I think this obviously, I liked the first arc we got in Titans, but it was mostly setting up stuff for Beast World. I like Beast World a lot. I think this arc is where it feels like Titans is starting to feel like it's cooking. Like, okay, this is Taylor building longer stories. The characters are playing off each other in really fun ways. I think the Beast Boy trauma thing is really cool, and it really makes what Dark Raven's doing feel quite malicious. And I think the Trigon and Amanda Waller stuff was both really funny, but also fun to build to, given that we're building a lot of stuff with Waller right now, with her amassing more power and being up to stuff. So
yeah, she's making, like you said, making actual deals with the devil.
Yeah, so I thought this was a great chapter in an ongoing series.
Yes. And again, I understand some people have like their kind of fatigue when it comes to the Titans and Trigon, but if you can tell a new story, and I feel like, well, not new, the inclusion of Liam, who trilogy, that son that he banished away, that was the same character that was brought up in Tales of the Teen Titans, all those months ago when I read. So the fact that Taylor's pulling from that, and I think that's going to help build Raven outside of this.
I think Trigon, even just wanting to go and talk to Amanda Waller, feels like a different take on this as well. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I can remember him making deals with someone like Waller.
No, and the fact that he's faced him so many times and always ends up on the losing side, it's like now he knows. He thinks that he has this, right? Because this Dark Winged Queen's supposed to, be his ace in the hole, but yet he still is going to need Waller's help to enact all of this stuff. So he still hasn't, he's learned from all of his stuff with the Titans in the past. So I do like that. It feels like advancement of the character over time.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. And like I say, Myers' art, I mean, certainly up until now, it's the best art we've had so far in the books we've talked about. I don't have anything really bad to say. I just unequivocally enjoyed how everything looked. I enjoyed all the characters, their facial expressions, particularly anytime, like, stuff like Peacemaker reacting to walking in on Trigon and Amanda Waller. That the art is what made a lot of that funny. Like, obviously the idea is funny, but the art really sold it and made it funny. Anytime Raven was looking kind of evil because she's up to no good and the others don't know yet, like, all that stuff was really satisfying and told very well through the art. So no, very good. What are you giving Titans, Matt?
I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
I agree with that. I think 8.5 sounds just right to me.